Hello, everyone, and welcome to new office hours of BI4Dynamics, where we are discussing the current happening about the product development, sales and marketing activities, and what is generally going on in business intelligence market for Microsoft Dynamics. In these office hours, we have two subjects. First, we are inviting you to join at Microsoft Dynamics Minds conference that will take place next week, which is the last week in May 2014 here in Slovenia in Porto Roche. We are very honored that this is in our home place. And the second part, Evgeny and me are going to show you the sneak preview of BI4Dynamics 2.0. So what is a BI4Dynamics 2.0? You may ask yourself. It's a fully SaaS solution where the application and the data are hosted in the cloud. And this is a first public preview of the solution that you will be able to experience, and we'll also explain what is the rollout of this solution in the following months, because as you may know, Microsoft is deprecating export to data lake, which is affecting our Dynamics F&O clients. So without further ado, a word to Leon, who is in charge of the Dynamics Minds conference. Leon, over to you.
Thank you, Mladen. So welcome again, and I'm excited to share with you this amazing industry event we're going to be part of. I will share a little presentation of this Dynamics Minds conference that will be soon. It is 27th of May until 29th of May, and we'll be heading to the beautiful coastal town of Porto Roche, Slovenia for the conference. And this is a really good opportunity for all our team from BI4Dynamics and this to go to this great conference, which is all things Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. This conference will be having a lot of great speakers, and as a gold sponsor and presenters, also Mladen, who will be presenting there. We can't wait to dive with over 1,000 other industry professionals from like IT experts, MVPs, developers, business leaders, also from Microsoft itself. And it's going to be an incredible gathering of the Dynamics community. Let me tell you about location itself. It's something out of a fairy tale, like because the venue is in the Grand Hotel Bernardin, and it's a luxury 5-star hotel right on the Adriatic Sea. The views are just stunning, and the amenities will be sure every attendee has a comfortable, memorable stay. And there's so much to explore also around this Porto Roche area and Piran. If you don't know much about Slovenia, because we are a really small country, it's like a really beautiful country to visit. So it has a really absolutely natural wonders, from the majestic Alps to serene seaside views, and you'll be surrounded by diverse, breathtaking landscapes. It's a charming little country. A lot of people say it's a miniature country because you can travel in 1 hour to almost any part from Ljubljana. Now, while that's a scenic backdrop is incredibly appealing, the real value here is the opportunity to really go deep on Dynamics conference, and we'll be covering the latest capabilities, roadmaps, and best practices, everything you need to maximize the power of these solutions for your business. So our team is thrilled to be presenting there. As I said, Mladen will be presenting there and has 3 lectures. The first one, getting data out of Business Central and analytical modeling, which will be on 27th of May. Then paradigm shift, which we'll cover in Evgeny's part today, also introduction to that, and getting data out of Dynamics 365, finance operations, which is a comprehensive guide to that. On the conference, there will be people from all over the world, so it will be a great gathering, and it's a true worldwide community that will be united there. And finally, we can meet also in person, and our data gurus there will be ready to help you with any questions and to finally meet each other there. So be sure to swing by our booth, grab some free swag, or let's chat some over the free magical elixirs that we'll be giving away. And you will find us in this G10 booth, something like this. This is just a mock-up, but just to give you an idea how our booth will look like. So we'll see you at our booth, and we can't wait to see you there and experience this beautiful, beautiful venue. So thanks, and over to you, Mladen.
Thank you, Leon. And let me take over the presentation, please. Okay, here we are. So the most important part for the conference is to meet our customers and partners. However, even more important part is a preview of BI4Dynamics SaaS. So what is BI4Dynamics SaaS? I will explain what we have been doing in last 10 years. We are in Dynamics market for 15 years and in BI space particular for last 10 years. We have done more than 1,000 BI projects worldwide, and we have a lot of brands, big and small customers. They have only one thing in common: their ERP is Microsoft Dynamics. Otherwise, there are really very diverse businesses around the globe. The solution that we have been implementing all these years is a desktop-based application, which creates data warehouse and semantic layer and creates a very content semantic models within the tabular database that are connected with Excel and Power BI. Now, we are talking about BI4Dynamics 2.0, where actually the end result, if I go, will be the same. So the reports that we are going to show are going to look pretty much the same as they look now. The content will be the same. The way how we process or transform data will be totally different. So now we are going to BI4Dynamics SaaS, and this is the game changer of BI4Dynamics. So if the content is the same, so what is the benefit for company or a partner using BI4Dynamics? Now, the biggest part is that we do all kind of integration within the fabric, where we deliver data warehouse-based solution in 30 minutes. So far we have been doing usually implementation within 2 or 3 days, and most of this was managing different infrastructure to connect different pieces of infrastructure to work together. Now, working in the cloud seems to be more demanding, but it's also more rewarding. And over the last 8 months, we have been working on BI4Dynamics SaaS to make this installation of BI4Dynamics seamlessly integrated within the fabric. And there are actually high level, there are two parts. We have in the fabric, we have storage, where we are getting data from external sources or dynamics and create our data warehouse. And we have engines that we are using that are run by our application that are transforming the data that are coming through what is called medallion architecture. Medallion architecture means that non-transformed data, somehow transformed data, and really analytical top grade level of the data. At this moment, we are using also Fabric capacities, which means the compute engine for data engineering, which is the part to get data into bronze and silver layer, depending whether this is dynamics or external source. We're using a data warehouse for data transformation so that we enrich, connect, transform the source data. And later this year, we are going to offer also the data scientist model where we are going to show some correlations and habits relationship between different dimensions and measures. This is something that we have done in the past, but this is a totally new game change, new area because we have everything in one place. Before that, we had to integrate sources, data warehouse, and destination here. Now, although we transform the data in a totally new manner, the end result will be the same. The end result will be semantic layer that will be hosted in form of tabular database in Azure Analysis Services, Power BI Premium, and maybe we will also give a Fabric semantic layer, but that is less likely to be fully useful. These two solutions are much more rewarding to use. The user who will be connecting to BI4Dynamics semantic layer will experience the same content, and we are known for the content. We have building content for the 10 years. However, now everything is happening in the cloud. So this is quite a big difference here. Now, very, very high level from technical perspective, what we are doing. Now, for now, at the moment, we have a desktop solution that specifically, this is the part that referring to finance and operation. And this is the project that we are working on since last November. So export to data lake, that is an add-on in finance and operations going to be deprecated. So you can no longer export data and do the data warehousing after November. So what we are going to do is to implement BI4Dynamics SaaS. This is a portal, a web browser based solution, which can be implemented in three options. It has three ETL processes to start with. In every case, we no longer start in finance and operation, but we configure the tables in Dataware. So that's the first change from what we have now in finance and operation. And if we configure Synapse Link, then we can use the CSV files and transform CSV files into a data warehouse. The benefit of this option is that you are really flexible of how often you do the transformation. However, there is more work, but who cares? Really, we do all the work. Now, the second option that Microsoft is offering is that Microsoft is offering a service to transform data, the CSV data that are exported into Delta Parquet format, which is readable as SQL endpoint. So this is something like you start with SQL endpoint, but it's not a database, SQL database. It's a Delta Parquet format, highly compressed data, which is used for further transformation or connecting with Power BI desktop and creating the model here. So this is the option number 2. This one is a little more expensive because it's using the Spark Pool engine to convert CSV into the Delta Parquet format. That is something that you configure, but you are using Microsoft Azure service to do the transformation. And the third very popular option, it's also the most expensive option, is that you just click fire and forget, like if I would do a synonym for this option, which is you configure the link to Fabric and the transformation takes care in the background. It's taking care in the background where you're starting with the one lake, and this one lake acts like SQL endpoint. It looks like we are going 5-10 years back when we start project with on-premise accessing the SQL server, but this is in the cloud. So the beauty of this is in the cloud, that the whole infrastructure that we are managing is scalable, and the cost for this can be high, but in most cases they'll be reasonable because you can choose how are you managing these cloud resources. The end result will be a data warehouse with semantic layer that's going to have a predefined Power BI reports. Now, for what customer in the world are mostly doing is to use Power BI and do the transformation within the Power BI. But we believe, while that's okay for simple model, it's way better to do a true data warehouse transformation with semantic layer. Its solutions is more scalable. It gives you more choices to transform the data. Of course, you need a solution or a professional who will develop these models. The end result are going to be pretty much same models as you're used to using or having or looking at now. There is the data warehouse and semantic model is pretty much the same. We are just bringing this into a new environment. So let me just give you a quick preview how this looks. So this is still pretty much far in the preview. It's actually in development, not in the preview. So I'm just going to give you a high level overview of our BI4Dynamics SaaS solution, which you can see it's hosted in the cloud. And with an URL, I'm connecting to the portal where the first part that I'm experiencing are fabric capacities and workspaces. So the fabric capacity is the engine that or it's a service that holds the several engines that we are using in transformations. And the workspaces is like folder structure where we are keeping the storage. Here we have production and development as one case. Now the data sources are finance and operation databases in one of these formats that we have seen previously. The end result of transformation is semantic layer, tabular database that can be hosted in Azure Analysis Services. It can be a Fabric, and we can publish this also to the Power BI premium capacity. So this is the setting, and everything is going to be managed by BI4Dynamics instances where the process flow is very similar to existing process flow. However, the objects that we are running, the interactions between the different artifacts, it's totally new. So data transformation is one part that we are bringing into a new environment, but there'll be way more benefits over the time. And we'll be first communicating with you closer. So everything that we will provide you will be available in the portal. So for example, what we'll provide out of the box are going to be reports. And this is something that you will get at the beginning of the project, and you will be keeping on the repository of the reports. And reports are going to be connected to your end destination, to your semantic layer. And here, this is still much in the preview. We'll have more functionality. Now we have a license and application, but this will be also the part where we'll be able to interact with you, where you will get information about BI4Dynamics. We have approximately new office hour with some content every month, and sometimes it'll be related to new content, new technologies in the BI area, new Power BI reports, new models. There'll be something new. So this is what we call BI4Dynamics 2.0. Not just provide the data warehouse another 10,000 times, but we are going to give you more, something beyond data warehouse. So for example, one of the projects that we'll do by the end of the year, we'll give you the forecasting. We'll try to find the relationship between the different dimensions and measures through templated reports of BI4Dynamics. So this is something that usually it's delivered as a very specific and also costly project. But we are going to standardize business intelligence on the top of data warehousing and semantic layer. So after 10 years of data warehousing with implementing more than 1,000 on-premise projects, we feel very enthusiastic about BI4Dynamics 2.0, and we are sure that it's going to be a very exciting period. Now, please listen to Evgeny, who is our solution architect for a SaaS platform, and he's going to give you some more insights about the new solution. Please, Evgeny, take it over.
Yeah, thank you, Mladen. Just a few words that I'm honored to be a part of development team of BI4Dynamics, and it's also a pleasure to work here. So let me show my screen. Let's start. I would like to start with a few points that BI4Dynamics has a great working solution that brings a value for more than 10 years to our customers. But to be realistic, there's always something to improve. You know it. Sometimes product evolution is not enough, and we are getting to the point of making revolutionary changes. To start with, our current BI4Dynamics solution architecture connects to a lot of data sources and resources, e.g., storage accounts, SQL endpoints, analysis services, Power BI, dynamic services, and etc. And each connection requires individual configuration, administration, and access rights management. For example, in order to make a Azure Synapse link works, a storage account required to manually be deployed and configured by client. And there are 10 different ways where things can go wrong. Also, here's a problem with securing credentials. They must be generated and stored somehow. So that's always a problem for security team of any company. At the end of the day, it's not a smooth sailing. For example, credentials maybe become outdated at some moment and have to be updated. So for now, I'm not saying nothing about on-premise standalone application because it has a lot of obvious cons like maintenance, installation, support, and whatever, So a lot of problems with the on-premise solution. So now I'm glad to announce that we are at the moment when BI4Dynamics team decided to significantly change the technology we rely on. And the new BI4Dynamics SaaS solution will be part of Microsoft's cloud ecosystem. That means that solution will not be a standalone application anymore, but a service that seamlessly integrated into platform with all its benefits. Azure offers us a cloud infrastructure with services for computing, data storage, AI, whatever. Power Platform lets us create low-code applications and automate workflows, and Dynamics is a source of financial data. Here is in cloud already. We can use it. We have everything in one basket, and the best option here to bring a solution as a seamless integrated part of this ecosystem. As part of a unified platform, we rely on all the traits it provided. By enterprise policies and compliance, we are getting trust of company security officers and administrators. We are enabling transparent and flexible pricing management and subscription model. Also, without client efforts, we automatically deploy and maintain the necessary infrastructure and cross-service connectivity. And of course, with SaaS, we're getting all its values like scalability, availability, etc. There are a lot of utilities given by cloud native solutions. So we get it right away. So BI4Dynamics solution consists of two main components. First is the web portal, which is a single window where you can make all the necessary settings, customization, data sources, configuration, processes. As Mladen already showed, we have a lot of possibilities to configure our application to get well-detailed reports. No need to install nothing. Client can start with his experience from very first moment after registration. In some cases, when the actions required, the portal will give you guidance how to install, how to configure Microsoft services. For example, Power Apps now doesn't have any kind of APIs, so the client must do some manual job, and we're guided how to do it in a very consistent way. The second part of the solution is a group of resources that we're deploying to the client's Azure infrastructure after registering as a BI4Dynamics client. This infrastructure provides data isolation, secure storage, and compute engines to process the data. Here we have API to communicate with the portal. This API used to configure application and execute actions that will processed in client infrastructure. Key Vault is used to save secrets and asymmetric keys. Private key of this asymmetric key is generated and stored here, and that means that everything that was encrypted outside of this infrastructure, for example, in portal application, can be decrypted only here, and the key is totally under customer control. If the customer wants to revoke the permissions from BI4Dynamics, it can be easily made by him without involving any kind of BI4Dynamics employer and support. Storage account, Fabric, Synapse is used to process and stores data. Customer can control scaling, storage capacity, compute engines, and etc. Everything in Azure infrastructure. And finally, managed identity. That is an identity used by BI4Dynamics application to glue everything together, also as access to data sources provided by Microsoft platform. For example, FNO, different data sources, Synapse, Workspace, and etc. Let's go back to the Microsoft ecosystem. The security engine that makes it possible to work is Microsoft Entra. It's an identity and access management solution that offers authentication and authorization services to any of Microsoft services, such as Outlook, Teams, Dynamics 365, Azure Fabric, etc. All Microsoft services work in this environment. Also, it provides users with a single sign-on experience. Once you're authenticated in Office 365, for example, you become authenticated in every ecosystem service, including the BI4Dynamics solution. And BI4Dynamics, I'm glad to say that now it's a part of this ecosystem. And the main entry point of Microsoft ecosystem integration process is getting permissions to access all kinds of cloud services. Application requests require permissions to operate. Once registered and licensed, the application requests access to the cloud resources from ecosystem. No logins and passwords, no customization, no configuration hell. Everything that is required for solution to work provided by just one single click. That is what we started with. The problem was with configuring a lot of connections. And now, by just one simple click, we can establish secure connection without exposing our credentials to no one. And for example, here what we see on this screen, first of all, we see a Fabric capacity permissions and the access to the Power BI workspace that we're using to configure BI environment and compute engines for you. Permissions to work with the Azure Service Management, which is required for application deployment, access to dynamic services as a data sources, and many more. The list can vary, depends of customer needs. Usually we're using incremental consent request when it's needed and only for services that's in use by BI4Dynamics application. Also, I just want to say that it's delegating permissions. Every user in the organization who interact with this application is required to delegate their permissions, and the application will be limited by the scope and would not be able to perform actions that this user is not supposed to do. However, a company admins can provide special consent to streamline this process, ensuring the application operates within the user's permissions. That's it for me now, Mladen. So Mladen, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you again. Just keep this picture because this is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
my favorite picture is.
I know. Yeah,
So
that's why. Keep it.
what this means, this picture is so specific, is that all the integration of all Azure resources is happening here through delegated permissions. And that's like all the plumbing that data warehousing needs to do. First, the data warehousing, our data warehouse solution is more complex than on-prem. There are more resources involved, and there are more opportunities to use the resources, but it's also more difficult. So that's why we have a team of 8 people working on this since November, and it's like a lot of work. Even we are doing this for 10 years. And the most my favorite picture is just this. It just tells how much of Azure resources we are using, or BI4Dynamics application is using to do the job. And that's really good, because the goal, again, you can quote me, is to install and deploy BI4Dynamics in half an hour, a data warehouse solution with 150 dimensions, 50 uh, transactional table, and 3,000 KPIs with Power BI reports to be connected, created in half an hour. The processing may take more, because processing can take half an hour, can take 5 hours, depends on the data size, depends on the fabric capacity. But the whole data warehouse transformation should happen, the transformation, the deploying part, in just half an hour. That's our goal. And all you need to do is to have these permissions, sit down and relax, wait for 1 hour, 4 hours, data to be transformed, and then connect to the portal, to the Power BI reports, and start analyzing your data and start asking questions. The things that have been done in the past, let's say when the data warehouse was mostly a manual project, weeks or months, we have streamlined in BI4Dynamics desktop application in days. So today, a desktop application with connecting and fine-tuning reports takes 2 or 3 days, depends. And now we are shrinking this to hours. And it's not only this, because we are standardizing the framework of implementation with all the data model. We have opportunity to extend the functionality of analytics, not just data warehousing, but anything beyond the data warehouse. So this is a base for BI4Dynamics 2.0. We are super excited. I think Microsoft did a super job. It's like dream come true plus bonus for us. This is really amazing. And we just want to give our clients and prospect clients opportunity to use these great technologies. Uh, this is from my end. Back to you, Leon.
Yeah, I mean, if I would comment all of this, it's like mind blowing also for me, because I came here before Evgeny, and at that point we didn't have any like foundations for this, and it's mind blowing for me how quickly we are proceeding with this. So really good job, Evgeny, on this with the team, and
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to experiencing the SaaS solution soon. So if that is all for the office hours today, I think we did a good job presenting all of this. So thank you, Mladen. Thank you, Evgeny. And would you add something more, Mladen, or this is it?
So see you in Portorož.
Yeah,
Everyone
see
who
you.
comes to Slovenia, to Portorož, come to our booth, check what we have to offer. We have also the magic drink.
See you in Portorož.
Yeah, see you.
See you in
Thank you.
Portorož. Bye.
Bye.